Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I'm making for Wudi as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen. This is from an act named, as Deepal has been telling me, Edawakare, titled Hwai Zhong Light, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to listen through this track from start to finish. I'm going to hear what we think. I don't think we were initially sure if this was on Spotify, so we've found it, which is good. So hopefully this is the right one, but here we go. Great delay on reverb on those guitars, man, with the voice. Realized that I had the audio on in the background as well. Professionalism. Very cool response. I mean, like, there's an interesting tone of that snare drum, like kind of a slapper. Like, there's a slight delay on those hits there. I think maybe to give it a certain charm or a certain tone. It works in the mix, you know. Because, I mean, I assume these guys are an indie band, considering the amount of players they've had. You know, which, again, no shade. You know, people, again, getting one track, even with over 1,000 players on Spotify, is huge. And I mean that sincerely. It's not easy to do. I think most musicians on Spotify are in that bracket of being under those 1,000 plays just because it's hard. But we got ourselves a really compelling instrumental and vocal performance here. And even though I don't know the words, part of me is like, what is the real difference between people who, like, you know, quote unquote, really make it and people in the position where they're coming up? And I think it's just a time thing with Edawakare, if I'm not mistaken. I think they've got the chops to get someone really positive if they keep it up. And change the tempo. And arpeggios on the bass. Nice, try it. And harmonies as well. And a fade out at the end. Quite busy with the drums near the end. It was kind of smooth how we went back to that original speed after that part where we sort of broke down into slower triplets. I gotta admit, there's a lot to appreciate here. I'm not sure what the track is about, but I enjoyed my time with it, and we're going to talk about this more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Edawakare, titled Hawaii Zhong Lights. Now, I assume they are about the Hawaii Zhong Lights. I could be wrong. We'll go with that. That's Occam's razor right there. The vocals they're really great. Singer has solid technique and a hidden chest voice there, comfortable within her range there. We developed ourselves slowly, showed a little bit of flourish, a bit more as we went along there, got into some interesting harmonies later on. And had sort of almost a jazzy kind of big band, sort of soulish kind of aesthetic to it later on with some rockish parts too. I'm not really sure how to describe the mood of the performance. I feel like we're still trying to potentially find that. And that's not me being dismissive. It's more that I think this is a track where I really needed the words to know what it was about. Sometimes with vocal performances, the expressions are quite visceral and you kind of get a feeling about it straight away in regards to the song title, but I'm not sure how the two relate. It's still a really competent vocal performance though. And I think, to be fair, you get the most utility out of a track like this when you can understand it regardless of how much I focus on everything else. I still nonetheless appreciate the effort put in, and I can understand why they made the decisions they did making those melodies as their main lead there. It was also great to have other instruments take for more of a focal point though within this track at times, because it's a 4-minute 32 piece, and that's not short. It's outside of the 2 to 4 minute sweet spot, but I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing here at all. I think that we're very confident across the guitars, the bass, the drums. And so I had to listen through this track again just to make sure I wasn't missing any instruments. It's kind of crazy how well this was carried with just the core, guitar, bass, and drums there. We had some driven chordal parts on the guitar. We had some interesting fluffy vibrato kind of rotary chorusy bits with lead arpeggios and such like that, which were kind of neat as well on the sides there. It was kind of warbly sounding, and I appreciate the tonal differentiation between the different guitar parts to make them easier to discern in the mix, whilst also potentially inferring to what the listener was going through when they were present. Was wonderfully voiced in the mix. We not only stuck to the root notes, but we explored the triads and also the root notes. There was a variation with the amount of exploration we did with that lower area, but we were always compelling wherever we went. And I think we were really tight as well, whether we were in that sort of main 1, 2, 3, 4 to 16th note groove with the guitar and drums, or in that slower triad part, that almost sort of slow dance triad part later in the track. I think we really got the most out of the 4 strings. I should note that the guitar with some of those drum parts are primarily focusing on bar chords like dominant 7ths and stuff like that. But it was still a really cheery, upbeat, and like really friendly sounding piece, regardless of some of the anxiety that I suppose is being expressed, or the angst that is being expressed by the listener, by the vocalist sometimes during the vocal cracks in certain parts of the piece. I think that we did have key changes, didn't we? They were wonderfully expressed in the chord progressions. I could be wrong, though. Part of me wants to say there is, but to be fair, there was a lot going on. But nonetheless, it was great to listen to. The drums were wonderful. We were really tight on the kit there. We explored the entirety of it, from the snares, kicks, and drums to all the cymbal, different patterns, part of the kit, and the tom fills as well. We understood to pocket to an extent when we had the choruses to allow the vocals to have more presence. But in that slower part there, we kind of let the weight carry the track, and then we also had in the outro part of the track, we had more of a spicy drum fill with like a 16th offbeat 16ths and stuff like that, and a bit more of pace activated. It's a song where I think each of the drummer, bassist, and guitarist got to flex themselves a little bit and show the listener what they're made of, while still providing a great foundation for the singer to speak their truth. It comes into a song which is simultaneous parts of dreamy, wispy elements with the reverbs, delays, the rotaries, etc., the smooth jazzy inclinations of the bass parts, the swing grooves. Is it swing grooves? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's swing. It's swing on the drums there, that neo jazz kind of stuff. It's dope, man. It's very slick. It's got a bright, vibrant optimism to it, even though there's a bit of tension with those dominant sevenths and stuff like that. It's weird. I think the music told me more than I potentially could have gotten from the vocals. But to be fair as well, I should note that if I remove myself for a second, the album name is Love/Melancholy. So if I'm not getting a massive kind of pull in either way, that's probably on purpose. So well done to the band for that. Ultimately, I think it was more of I think you needed to have the lyrics to really understand this one. And that's not me saying I should have had them before doing this review. It's more that primarily I'm the kind of reviewer who's like, I should be able to understand what's going on from the music, and for the most part I enjoyed my time with it. It's just that I think you'll get a little bit extra from it. So I think the kind of fair way of going at it is, I think the song was well written and well performed and everything like that, and that anyone who understands this is their native language is going to have a fantastic time with it. As I know that, you know, not even translations often do their original language justice. The studio recording, mixing and mastering, though, with that theme established, the instruments and vocals spoken about, was tight. You know, I liked that it was a well-captured performance. You could hear the vocals, guitar, bass, and drums clearly, and their different variations and introductions and performances. That was fantastic. Things were nice and wide in the stereo field. Music surrounded you in the headphones. Things were nicely niched within the frequency spectrum. There were no weird resonant frequencies in any parts there. It was well leveled. Things seemed nice and balanced in the mix there. The general production, the tight was nicely glued without, you know, there was dynamic range to the performance as well. Things weren't too smothered or trying to be too or one thing all the time. There were tempo shifts and stuff, and little bits of like you could hear that they were playing together in the same room. It was an organic performance, and it was tight considering that. And it was also nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression limiting was handled. I'm just glad I heard them, and I'm glad I had this time with them today, because this is my review of this track from an act named Edawakare, titled Why Zhong Lights, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via the various social medias and a Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe. Please remember to support your local musicians at this point in time, as either help more than ever with all the great stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next SC Patrons video. Spiderhands out.